July 5th, 2026. It is Sunday, and let's get into the market prep for the upcoming week, guys. It's going to be a short lesson today because I got shit to get taken care of, and there's just really not a lot of setups catching my attention out there. I pull this up every couple weeks. I like to go in, kind of refresh how I'm trading, just kind of refresh where my winners, my losers are. Last couple weeks have been pretty solid. You don't need an 84% gain loss ratio. That's kind of ridiculous. To be profitable, you don't even need a 30% win loss ratio. As long as your winners are much, much higher than your losers, you're going to be profitable and make money. So that's all that I really want you to pay attention to. I want you to look at your winners. You need to have some big winners here and there, okay? But you need to have small losers. And that's something I've been doing an exceptional job on the last couple weeks. And you can see it in my P&L. You know, my losses are small. The biggest loss that I took here, $223 loss, which really wasn't even a loss because I had this position profitable for $313 just a week prior. So I took a loss on Tesla into the week last week, $182 loss. That's about the biggest loss that I like to see, be comfortable with as far as I'm concerned. So that's good stuff, Keep your losers super small. Cut them, Just fucking shake them off onto the next. That's what this game's all about. Best loser wins, all right? Let's get into the setups. SPY and QQQ. A weird day on Friday. In my opinion, a very healthy day because it knocked us back in this consolidation range. This consolidation is, man, I love the looks here. I don't think we're ready to just pop out of this thing and move higher yet. Typically, these consolidations can last anywhere from a couple weeks, like we see now, to potentially a couple months. And the most explosive breakouts typically come after longer, consolidation periods or potential correction periods. So we could see this lose 700. If we lose 700, guys, early in the week on QQQ, you got to take a little bit of risk off the table. Maybe look for a short-term pullback back to like 680. You have to think if we wash below 700, you got the moving average. They're going to be kind of working as like an overhead resistance. When we're in an uptrending market, like you can see here, the moving average will kind of act as like support, right? Like a rising 10, a rising 20 day. They will, they can act as support underneath the price action. And we've seen it here. This is awesome action. We've seen a bounce off the 50 day. We've seen another bounce off the 50 day. And now we're kind of trying again. So if we lose the 50 day, I kind of look at that green EMA 20 to kind of act as a short-term resistance on the market to push us down into the high 680, 690 range in the intermediate term. I'm not saying I'm bearish on the market. I'm just saying that's where my head goes just on the look and the shape of this pattern here. SPY, I'm not as interested. SPY is looking like it's a little higher in this range. But the SPY and QQQ are not super correlated right now. They've had some days that completely looked opposite of each other. So I focus on QQQ. The majority of the stocks that I am interested in trading are in the NASDAQ. They're tech stocks. So I keep my eyes on this QQQ fund. And I just you constantly gauge the market based off of the QQQ setup. So UPST was a winner from last week. Basically, it didn't close strong, and I was able to kind of, I didn't swing it over the weekend. I was able to kind of get shaken out of my position for small losses on Friday, but still, it was a winner from the entry that we got back in middle of the week on Tuesday with UPST. We were all over it. Kind of broke out of this consolidation on a rising 50-day. Pattern got very tight there. Consistent higher lows as we started to shape up into a major inflection at 34. We didn't break through with impressive volume. We weren't able to get this thing really squeezing like it has potential to. But with that being said, I'm not taking this thing off of my radar just yet. If we can get some sideways here in the next week or two, if we can get a little pullback into that 33, 34 range, maybe even a little bit steeper, maybe a quick washout and recovery, and we go back up and try to break this new this new area on the chart at 37. I still see upside in this chart up to potentially low 40s, mid 40s for a squeeze type of move over a course of a few days. So no action right now. I'm just keeping it on the radar going forward. It's got a high short interest. UPST, you're looking at a name. Last time I checked, I'll show you guys. I believe this thing is maybe 15 or 12% short interest. Let's see. Oh shit, 32% short float. Come on, guys. I don't think the market's I don't know. Some of these short names have started to kind of show some buying, that people are trying to pump them, like LCID. Not any action on this, but this is a name with some short interest. It had some buying in the chart at the end of the week. People tried to run AMC. That shit didn't work. Got brought back down here. It's trying the 50-day. It is trying to stair step here on the, and gain a little bit of momentum. So I'll keep an eye on AMC. I keep an eye on, LCID. But I just like the setup here from a risk reward standpoint on UPST. To me, it looks very asymmetric. Like we really built a base here above 27, above 30. We put in these consistent higher lows, and I see upside in this chart up to, I just don't see a lot of overhead resistance to mid 40s. It's a good risk reward. With that being said, it is not a setup that I'm actively in. I need some more chart data. I need some sideways to potentially reevaluate. And that's like all I've got for you guys today. I talked about BABA at the end of the week last week, but all things considered, when you look at BABA from a mean reversion standpoint, this chart just doesn't have any volume. There's just no excitement in this name right now. Whereas when you compare it to a setup like MSTR, like MicroStrategy, similar type of mean reversion look, but look at the volume, right? And as traders, I have to, as a short-term, intermediate-term trader, I've got to go where volatility is. And MSTR looks like it's providing that volatility. Again, it's in no man's land right now. Had a pretty impressive bounce from 85 up to about 105 last week. I'd like to see this thing kind of wash out, maybe build a little bit of a base before I start to scale in for more bounces. But MSTR, as far as like a day trade vehicle goes, I'll probably be keeping some tabs on this one in, the beginning of the week here for potential follow through up to like the 120 or the 115 range. But, I can't trade BABA right now. It's in no man's land. It's got really, really less than impressive volume. And maybe we can see some true capitulation and a speed up to the downside to get me back interested in this thing. But for now, those are the, early in the week, that's what I'm keeping tabs on. That's what I'm watching. And again, just keep your losers small. You got to get used to, getting paper cut, because then by the time you hit that home run trade, not only is it going to make up for all of your paper cuts, but it's going to pay you. It's going to grow your account. And the setups that we trade with leverage, options, it's going to grow your account exponentially. So stay patient. Right now is not a time to hop into the market and try to trade like a hero. It's time to kind of sit on your hands see if this is a short-term correction period, or see if this thing starts to consolidate, get even tighter, and then we could look for some nice setups across the market if the broad market is to continue tightening here. That's all I got, guys. Hope you had a great weekend. Everybody stay safe out there, and we'll talk either tomorrow or we'll talk later on in this week, just depending on how the setups look. Peace, guys.